What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into 5 things I wish I knew before I started freelance. Man, it feels good to be back. I actually have started a new job in the filmmaking industry. We will dive into that in another video. Plus, I had health issues hit me. I'm doing fine now, so no concern, nothing, don't set the alarms off, nothing like that. I'm doing okay now. However, it did make me not be able to upload a video for quite a few weeks, and it feels really weird taking a pause for so long, so I am very glad to be back. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's dive into these 5 things that I wish I knew as a freelancer before I got into it. Starting with number 1, work with what you've got. Now, I know I've said this quite a few times probably in some of my past videos, plus I'm sure some other people have said it, and you probably heard it over and over and over again. It gets really old, but it is very true, and anytime I'm making a video like this, I need to sell this point across, that you need to learn to start working with what you have. You don't have to go out and buy every brand new camera that comes out. There are some amazing cameras coming out at an amazing affordable price. It is one of the best parts about being a filmmaker, is getting to play with new toys and having these new cameras and lighting and whatever you're wanting to buy to play with and experiment with. That's what makes this job so fun. But you do need to start learning with what you have. You need to start knowing your gear inside and out. There has been so many jobs that I have been on in the past to where we pull a new piece of gear in ready for the day. We did not prep it in time, or we don't know the gear that well, and then we're there on the job and it holds everything up almost to the point that it was probably better to not even have that piece of gear to begin with. Start with what you got, learn it inside and out, know that camera above and beyond, know that gimbal, know that lighting, whatever it is, know that inside and out, because I guarantee you, even if that camera is 5 years old, if you know that camera inside and out, you're gonna get a better image out of that than a brand new camera that you do not know at all. Let's dive into number 2, and that is beware of experience or for exposure kind of clients. I am all for getting experience and exposure as you're starting your journey and building a portfolio. That is honestly how most of us started off. However, you really know what your worth is. I know budgeting and trying to figure out how much to charge the client and all these things and the numbers can really start to complicate and muddy the waters. However, you know, being there 8 hours shooting like 4 videos for them, you know, having multiple ones up on social, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll tag you on Instagram, and you're like, fantastic. That's not going to do anything. Maybe once in a blue moon you might have one person reach out for that, but in my experience I've never had that happen. I'm not saying go out and charge an arm and a leg for something that you're not experienced for. However, you do need to be cautious for those clients that are really trying to just take advantage of you and trying to help you out with your exposure. You know, you got to be careful. Moving along to number 3, which kind of correlates with number 2, is you are going to encounter difficult clients. Now, this is just something that's going to happen. It's just part of the freelance job. It's part of the journey. It's just, to this day, I still have clients that can be very difficult. Honestly, it comes down to 2 things I've figured out with difficult clients, and pretty much any client to begin with, is I always have kind of a contract, paperwork, something set up that will protect me so they can't take advantage of me. That is something that is very crucial that you should be doing. The other point to that is you really sometimes don't have to take every job. Sometimes you'll know pretty quick in your gut if this client is just not even going to be worth the pay. I understand there are times that you're going to need the money, but if this job winds up taking way longer than it should, and you don't have the right paperwork in line, you don't have it stated out that you have so many revisions, then you're going to have to come back and renegotiate costs on editing. All of that stuff, if you don't have that set up properly, it's actually going to wind up costing you more money than it is making you more money. Get all your pre-production meetings done with them so you don't wind up being hurt later or put in a corner because you should have just went with your gut and probably said no. Number 4, which is my personal favorite and took me years to learn, lighting is everything. I have said this so many times on the channel. I've seen so many awesome creators and freelancers talk about this just the same. I have a whole bunch of lighting tutorials. I'll link them up here or put them in the description below if you guys to check out if you'd like to see more lighting lighting tutorials, please let me know in the comments below. Lighting is so crucial and so important when it comes to freelance and filmmaking. Filmmaking in general, lighting really is almost more important than your camera, than the glass you're shooting, than the sensor. It really comes down to lighting. Learning diffusion, negative fill, shaping light, cutting light. There's so many things that comes down to lighting, and it is so much fun, but you need to learn that pretty early on. I understand that everyone's going to look back at their videos that are 10 years old, 5 years old, even maybe a year old, or just a week old, and it might make you cringe a little bit, but always being on that journey to push to get better is really what it comes down to, learning that lighting. And that brings me right into my last point, number 5. Do not be scared to continue to grow. Always be trying to grow, always be trying to do something new. There's nothing wrong with experimenting, but that needs to be in a time that's not where the client's paying for that. They're not paying for you to learn on the job. It is a plus side of this industry and this field that you're in, is you're going to always be learning, but the client should not be in a danger zone of a waste of money or time, or the product isn't going to turn out as good because you are trying to learn something that maybe you really should have practiced or messed with sooner, or not promised them that you could do it. So it really comes down to, you should always be learning, but make sure you're cautious on what time you're learning. Well, there you go, guys. That's 5 things that I wish I knew as a freelancer. I have about 1,000 more of them, but I just didn't want to make the video too long. If you guys are new here, I would appreciate you giving me a thumbs up. Drop a comment below. Let me know something that maybe you've learned along your freelance journey. If you guys want to see some lighting tutorials, whatever you're wanting to learn, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Talk about it. Let me know. Drop some comments below and let's have a conversation. You guys are amazing. I'm the Iron Giant. I will see you guys next time. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Good to be back. Peace. Take a break for 2 weeks and can't get a sentence out at all. Got that unsweetened peach tea. Delicious. I have to keep timing my sentences because this is around the 4th of July, so I keep hearing fireworks go off and I'm worried it's going to ruin the sound. And yeah. I just recently edited a video that had a Matthew McConaughey interview in it, so the Wolf of Wall Street thing is kind of stuck in my head. What do you got to do?